Well, first of all, thank you and welcome to everyone who is already here. For those of you who don't know, this is a series of webinars that the village has been putting together. One per quarter, sometimes we do it a little bit more frequently as needed. We thought this was a clever acronym. This is Business Education Seminars in Technology. It's a whole series. So the BEST stands for that. And previously, we have done seminars on, helping our small businesses with financial info, with marketing and social media info. The whole point here was to assist our businesses. And what we found was that the information that we were sharing was not just for Hanover Park businesses, but could be beneficial to any and all businesses. And as the participant list shows here, we do have participation from a lot of regional businesses as well, from far and wide. So welcome. Wanted to let you know that this is something that is being done in coordination with several of our partners. So we at the Village, the Community and Economic Development Department, are the hosts, but we couldn't have done this without a partnership of many of our fantastic partners. And these include both of our libraries, the Poplar Creek and the Schaumburg Township Library, our Economic Development Committee. We do have a committee in the village made up of business owners and the two chambers and the libraries to help us think about ways that we could help our small businesses, give us feedback. Both of our chambers have been very active partners in helping get the word out, in providing a platform for businesses to learn more and stay afloat during these times. So Nan, thank you so much. And we also have the Bartlett Area Chamber as well as the Northwest Hispanic Chamber. Both of them, both of these chambers have been crucial, especially during these times. We will have a video, as was mentioned previously, of this recording of this program for those who were not able to join in at this time, and for those who might join in a little bit later to see all the way to the beginning. And if you wanted to brush up on the tips and helpful hints that are going to be shared by our presenter, Lou, during this program. And thank you to all of our sponsors. So with that, let's do a quick round of intro for our host committee. I think we have a few members that have already joined in, but I guess we need to get started. So with that, let me do a quick intro. I am Shubhra Govind. I'm the Community and Economic Development Director for the Village of Hanover Park. Ellen, I'll hand it off to you, and you can then pass the buck on.
Okay, thank you. I'm the village planner. You've received emails from me regarding the event. Also with us is Alex Schwartz. He's our another planner in the department, and Kathy Shodine. I know we have Nan Gudenkauf from the Bartlett Area Chamber. Louis Jimenez, who is our presenter, represents the Northwest Hispanic Chamber Board of Directors. And I'm not certain, I believe we have Gail Tobin and Stephen Zanfordino. Gail's with the Schaumburg Public Library. Gail is with the Poplar Creek Public Library. Both serve on our Economic Development Committee. And we also have several members, I know for certain, of both chamber boards with us today. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Louis, and we thank you for the time and energy you've put into this presentation. Take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today. I know I treasure my time and I treasure your time. So hopefully everything that I am showing you guys today is beneficial to you and your business. So today's topic is avoiding mistakes most business owners make, and specifically in regards to marketing. So once again, thank you so much for everyone that was involved in putting this together. Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce, the Women's Business Center, Hanover Park, Schaumburg Library, and the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And a special thank you to Ellen. She was the one that invited me the first time and the one that invited me back this time. So hopefully I make her proud and I make everyone at Hanover Park proud. We'll keep going here. So this is my promise to you today. My promise for you today, is that you're going to learn tactics that very few business owners know and few marketers will tell you. Because obviously marketers are in the business of trying to get clients, so they're not going to share what they do with just everyone. So that is my promise for you today. So when we were first initiating the topics and we were kind of brainstorming on what to share today, we were going to focus on one specific topic. And honestly, 1 hour and a half seems like a lot of time, but even that 1 hour and a half is not enough time to fully fledge out and learn about a specific topic. So I went the other direction. I kind of wanted to tell you everything that most people don't know about, so you could go ahead and research yourself, because one thing is not knowing, but another thing is not knowing what you don't know. So if you don't know what you don't know, there's nothing that you could do to be able to prepare yourself or educate yourself moving forward. So that's kind of the route that we went, and kind of jam-packed information into this presentation. But luckily, like everyone said, it's going to be recorded, so you're able to go back and listen to the presentation and go back and learn about these different concepts that I hope, or well, not hope, but I believe not a lot of people know about. All right, so if you stay to the end, these are the things that I will grant. Is a free 30-minute marketing strategy, website strategy, or Q&A session. I will have a calendar where you could sign up for that at the end. I'm gonna give you 3 secret tools almost no one uses, but are super useful. Free checklist to grow your online presence. I'll hand that over to Ellen and she will email that out to everyone that's on this presentation. And special offers for everyone that is currently on this presentation, but nowhere else. All right, the only thing that I ask from you is that you promise me that you will not use these powers to make fun of other business owners who do not know about these concepts. Is everyone cool with that? I know everyone's muted, so you're probably chatting there. And I'm moving the pictures around because my presentation somewhere's in there. So sometimes you'll catch me moving the little icons around. So a little bit about me and why I am giving this presentation. I obtained my MBA from Northern Illinois University. I am currently a director at a federal litigation law firm where I am responsible for over $400,000 of marketing spend per year, and a call center team to be able to handle the leads that we generate per month. We generate somewhere around 2,000 leads per month with the campaigns that we have running. Or I have running. I am the founder of Highend Consulting, and I recently was appointed the marketing director for the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I am a husband and a father of 2 beautiful girls and recently a puppy. All right, so question number 1, and let me see if I could pop up my chat feature here so I could engage with everyone as well. Chance. All right. So, question: is it typically better to have more people know about your business, or is it typically better to have less people know about your business? Which one is better, having more people know or less people know? So I'm getting more for sure. More for sure. Ann says more people. Lisa says more people. Violeta more. Leanna more. All right. Exactly. So more. All right. So on these 2 storefronts here, they're both the same brand, right? This brand or this storefront is in the middle of nowhere. This is an actual store I found out during doing the research, this presentation. So this store is in the middle of nowhere. And this store is obviously, it has a lot of traffic. Which one do you think is going to generate more revenue? The store on the left or the store on the right? The right. right? So I have Lisa right, Tammy says right, Ann says right, Simon says right. All right, and why do you think that is? I would say is because there's more traffic that passed through the store, so eventually people are going to go in. And now everyone on this chat feature is saying it's all about location, it's all about visibility, more people knowing about your business is better. But what I see small business owners doing is everything on the left. They spend all their money on their storefront or in their store and wait for people to discover that they're around, and they're not investing in their marketing. Now, what if I would tell you that I could take this store on the left and I am able to place it in front of these people that are possibly your target market? Does that sound reasonable to you? That I could just pick up this store and put it in front of your target market?
Sure.
No, I have no. Who else says no? Who says yes? No one's answered. People are scared to answer. It's all right. There's no wrong answers. Yes, Jose Cuevas. Yes. Yes, through marketing, Tammy. And that's exactly what we do through marketing, right? We pick up your store and put it in front of all your products and services and put it directly in front of your target marketing. And that looks like this, right? I'm going to take your store and I'm going to put it in front of crowds that are possibly your target market, right? And if you apply social media or digital marketing platforms, now it looks like this. Now who says it's reasonable for me to say that I'm going to put your product or your store in front of your target market? Hopefully you have a little bit more yeses than before. So yes, yes. All right. Cool. So mistake number one that business owners make, small business owners make, is the belief that marketing is not an absolute needed part of their business. Marketing is absolutely part of your business. If you don't have clients for your business, then guess what you have? You have a really expensive hobby. So no business is able to sustain itself if we don't have customers, right? So we have to have people interested in our product and actually purchasing for us to be able to be sustainable in the long term. So this is the main mistake that I normally, when I talk to business owners, they either don't have a marketing budget at all, they're not thinking of marketing at all, and it's really a shame because it's so important for us to be able to become more visible, and the more people that know about your business, the better it is for you in the long run. Whoops, missed there. All right, so we're gonna go through a few different, this one main scenario, and here we have 4 high-end leather designers, and we're gonna go through they just released, all of them just released a new high-end red leather office chair that they're trying to promote, right? And this is the beautiful leather chair here that they're trying to promote. So on one side, or we have Greg here, and Greg says that marketing is easy, and he's just going to do it by himself, right? He got it. He got this. Anna says, I don't have the time to learn or do and need results, and so I'm going to work with a trusted partner. Joe says, I have plenty of time on my hands. I'm going to learn it and do it myself. And then we have, sorry, I have to move all my screens here. We have Jess here says that clients are going to come to her. So clients are going to find her somehow, some way, and she'll be all right, right? And she's crossing her fingers because that's what's called hope. And we cannot run a business on hope, right? So then the only person that's really going to attempt to do it themselves right away, because we don't know how long Joe is going to take to learn marketing by himself. And Jess is going to just wait around and see what happens. And Anna's actually going to work with a partner. So we're going to go down the path of the Gregs of the world and see what they're doing wrong when it comes to marketing. So Greg loves Twitter. And a lot of times what I see is that just because you love a platform doesn't mean that that is the right platform to be on for your business. Your business or your audience might only be on Facebook or only be on LinkedIn or only be on Google or a combination of those, but Greg loves Twitter, so he's gonna do and spend his time on Twitter. So that's another mistake that I see a lot, where if a business owner knows a certain platform or just has been accustomed to that platform, they're kind of want that platform to work for their business, and it just doesn't work that way. We have to adjust our strategy to go to where our potential customers are. And some of the things that are going to determine, apart from where your audience is your budget. If you have a really small budget, then Google is probably not going to work for you because your marketing spend is not going to go very far. So you're probably going to look at somewhere like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, where your marketing budget is going to go a little bit further. And also your sales cycle. So a lot of e-commerce businesses have a very short sales cycle, because it's been like things like t-shirts for Father's Day or Mother's Day or things like that. You see something and it costs $30, and no harm, no foul, you'll order it because you just liked it, and that sales cycle is very short. Now, if you have a business that your product or your service is a little bit more expensive, and that sales cycle is going to take you a little bit longer, right? So you have to think of all of these things when you're choosing what platform to be on. Now, the other mistake I see is that a lot of people want to do all of them at once, and that is not the best strategy, because one, you're learning the platform, right? And you're testing things out. So for you to go ahead and start marketing on all of the platforms might not be the best thing for you, because you're going to become overwhelmed very easily. All right. So another thing that I see is that business owners don't have a marketing budget. Usually what happens is that they say, oh, well, I have $300 or $400 or whatever the case is, and I'm just going to throw it at marketing. We'll see what happens, right? And then they fail to have or set a correct budget for their marketing campaign. And there's several ways to set a budget for your marketing campaign. This is just one other example. So I'm taking my average customer value, and in Greg's case this time is $10,000. His average customer value is $10,000. So he says that his acceptable customer acquisition cost is $2,000, or 20% of his revenue, right? So then he says that his lead to customer conversion rate is 3%. Now, I have a video, I do YouTube videos and things like that. I have a YouTube video going over how important it is to know these numbers. So if you don't know what your conversion rate is, I suggest you start tracking all of these things, because it's going to make better sense for everything that you do in the future for your business moving forward. So he says that he has a 3% conversion rate, right? And so now this calculator is telling us that we have an acceptable cost per lead of a max of $60. And Greg says that I need a minimum of 5 customers per month. So based on these calculations, the calculator is telling us that our starting budget per month should be $10,000. And based on that $10,000 investment, our potential return on ad spend, or ROAS, if you're you use acronyms, is $40,000. So Greg is going to put $10,000 in, and he's going to get $40,000 back. And this is the way that your marketing campaign should work. It should be an investment. And a lot of people are scared because you might not see the $40,000 your first month. You might break even. The second month, you start learning and you start adjusting and building your campaign, because no campaign out of the gate is just going to be, well, some are, but it's very rare that your campaign is just extremely profitable and working the way it should be without tweaks as we go on. So, but it should look very similar to this once 3 or 4 months go by. Like I said, at the beginning, you might break even, but it should be an investment and not a hard cost. The second thing that the Gregs of the world do incorrectly is that they don't set SMART goals. They either say, well, I have $300, I'm going to go ahead and I just want more customers. And more customers is not a very good KPI to have, right? So we want to make sure that we're very specific on the outcome that we want, that we measure, and we have KPIs for our marketing campaigns, that they're achievable. You can't say, I'm going to spend $10 on Facebook and I want to have $20,000 back. That's just not realistic, right? They have to be relevant. And then I'm going to move my little thing here. And then they have to be time bound. Usually in marketing, you set your yearly goal, and then you break that down with your monthly goal, and then you are able to measure that by your weekly goal. So every week, and if you want to get really nerdy like me, you go based on your daily goals. So if my day or my Monday or my Tuesday are not going well, then I know I need to make adjustmts so the end of the week I could bring up my leads. Or in my case for the firm is the more cases. So we need more cases to file, right? So I'm tracking that, and I, over time, have norms of what should be happening versus what's not happening, and I could adjust accordingly. Now, in the beginning of all of this, you're probably not going to have all that data to refer back to, but that's why it's so important for you to gather and keep track of these things, because now you're going to have averages as time goes by. All right, is everyone with me so far? Am I losing someone? I'm going fast, but there's going to be a rewind button soon.
Lou, can I make a request? You mentioned a couple of key terms like KPI or lead to customer. Would you mind expanding on that real briefly so that anyone who is not familiar with those terms and can also follow along?
Yeah, no problem. So KPI stands for Key Performance Indicators, and those are the metrics that you're gonna, people get really nerdy. I think there's a balance. You need to have the main things that make your business run, especially if you're a sole proprietorship, or maybe it's just you and another person. You really can't have 100 different KPIs that you're keeping track of. I would say keep it to the main ones that you know are going to be the moving drivers for your business, and then add more as time goes by. And I'm sorry, you mentioned one more metric that I missed.
You mentioned lead to customer. If you could give an example. So for instance, if there is a restaurant that's participating today, what does that mean? What does a lead look like, and how do you know what's the lead to customer?
Okay, so I usually refer to a lead as anyone that's submitted their information but has not bought, right? So we might get 100 leads and then only 10 buy. So now we have a 10% conversion rate. And that's what you should be basing off of. And there's different metrics based on your industry. So you could Google what's normal for your industry, so you could kind of have a sense of where you should be at with your campaigns. Now, a lot of people are shocked that the conversion rates are as low as they are, but no one would be marketing or spending millions of dollars on marketing every month or every year if it doesn't work, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, so then also Greg goes and he now, let's say he has his goal and he has his budget, but then he has no strategy. His strategy is that he's just gonna boost a post that he has on Facebook, and that's his marketing campaign. Boosting a post is not a strategy. So when I usually talk to business owners and I say, that I handle web design and marketing and branding and things like that, they say, oh, well, I run my own Facebook marketing. Oh, really? And, I get to talking to them and come to find out what they're doing as their Facebook marketing is boosting posts. And that's really not a strategy. Boosting a post should only 5 to 20% of people that are in your network or that like your page are going to see the things that you actually post. So Facebook made it easy for you to pay so you could get your post distributed and people that actually like your page and their friends to be able to now actually see your posts. So that's the reason why it's called boost a post. It's not called marketing campaign. So if you're doing that and you're thinking that you're doing marketing, hopefully this is going to help you and get you started on the right path. So this is an example of a marketing campaign for a client of mine who does kitchen remodeling. And this was going to be before this whole COVID thing going to launch. It was going to be a live event. So this was one campaign for a live event to generate as many leads as possible through Facebook. So could you guys see my mouse moving or no? Is that hidden? Yep. All right. Cool.
We can. But Louis, I think somebody asked a question about what does boosting a post mean?
Okay, so if you have a Facebook page or a Instagram business page, then you're probably going to see boost posts right underneath pretty much every time that you post something on Facebook or Instagram, and that means that you're going to pay for Facebook or Instagram to show that post to everyone in your network. Because once again, Facebook is only going to show the things that you post on social media for about 5 to 20% of the people. So let's say you have 100 people, only about 20 people are looking or seeing that whatever you posted or going on their feed. So if it's important, then you want to pay to have your post then go on everyone that has liked your page and possibly their friends feed, because normally it just doesn't. And Facebook is limiting that more and more. It used to be when Facebook started and they were getting into advertisement, they used to show not only everyone that liked your page, but their friends and then possibly their friends as well, because they wanted more people to engage. And now that's as more and more businesses are actually spending money on the platform, they're limiting that as much as possible. So now we're 5 to 20%.
So what does that mean as an example? So if I was a restaurant and I had a special on my menu today, how would I boost that?
Okay, so you would post it saying, like you have a special going on, and right underneath there, if you have a Facebook page, right underneath your post, you're probably going to see a bright blue button that says Boost Post. And then you're going to click the button, and it's going to give you some options on how much you want to spend per day and how many days you want to run it. And then it'll give you an example of saying, based on what you're spending, certain amount, 100 people are going to view it per day versus, the 5 or 20 people. All Boost in a Post means is that you're paying for Facebook to actually show your ad or to show your post to your own public, because they're not doing it. Right? So then we're going to go to this example here. So here we're starting everything with a Facebook ad, and usually it's more than one ad because we're testing. So it's 2 to 3 different ads that we're running at the same time, and I will explain a little bit further in the presentation how that works. And then we're going to send in the ad we have a video. It's a video ad. So we're saying that everyone that the call to action is going to go to this opt-in or landing page or squeeze page. Is everyone familiar with the terminology landing page or squeeze page? Squeeze page, sorry. Let me know if you're not. I could explain that.
It might be good to explain that.
Yep. All right. So a landing page, or sometimes referred to as squeeze page, is the page where you send people to do whatever you are requesting them to do, instead of having them just go to your home page on your website. The reason for that is because they have one option. They're either going to submit their information to get the offer that you're offering, or they're going to leave the page. And that's what you want in a marketing campaign. They have a hard decision: either submit their information to get the special that you're asking for. It might be a coupon, or it might be an ebook, or it might be whatever it is that you're offering, or not. So then you can know if your offer is doing well or not. So you might be offering a 10% coupon, and people will go on your page, but they don't submit their information. That probably means that they're really not interested in that 10% coupon. It might be something else that they're interested in. So that's why it's called a squeeze page. You're literally asking them to either do one thing or the other. So in this campaign, we're saying anyone that has watched the video 50% or more of it, and they didn't land on this page, we're going to retarget them again with that ad. And then we're also saying everyone that watched the video and went on the page but didn't submit their information, we're going to retarget them with that ad again, because we obviously they showed interest. So now for whatever reason, and people, it happens, right? You were in the middle of something and something funny came on TV, so you lost track, or your daughter or your puppy are crying or they need to be taken out, so you stop whatever you're doing and then can't go back to that ad because you're not familiar with what the brand is. So if they showed some interest, we want to make sure that we retarget them as well. So then everyone that has actually submitted, they're going to be sent to this thank you page. And then in this campaign, we're saying that we're going to run an ad 4 days out of the event. Like I said, it was going to be a live giveaway event. And then we're going to send out an email reminder 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out, and the day of the event. Now, everyone that submitted their information is obviously interested in what they have to offer, right? So then we're going to gather all those leads and then send them to a different set of ads that now are going to be, they're going to get sent to another squeeze page where they're going to submit their appointment, where the point is to request an appointment. All right, and then we're going to trickle down that end. See. All right, so this is how you should be thinking about when you're thinking about creating your marketing campaign. This is the things that you should be thinking about, and not just boosting a post. Any questions here? Feel free to comment. I know Ellen and Alex are manning the chat, so if there's an important question, please make sure to ask it there, and they'll stop me and make sure that I answer that question for you guys.
If you've recently joined us, please make sure that you put your name, your business, and the location of the business in the chat. That way we know who is talking, and we can follow up with people if they have questions that we are unable to answer right now.
All right, thank you for that. All right, so the next thing that Greg does incorrectly is that he does no research on when he's starting this campaign. On Google, if he's starting a pay-per-click campaign, then you should be doing a lot of keyword research. That's I spend days sometimes doing keyword research, right? So and then looking at what my competitors are doing, and all of these platforms, you're competing with the other people that are also on this platform, not only your other restaurants or other construction companies or you're competing with everyone, because the newsfeed is only so big. So your same customer might be the same customer for a construction company, and it might be the same for a restaurant. So Facebook doesn't distinguish that. You're competing against both of those. So if a construction company and a restaurant have similar audiences, then you want to make sure that your ad actually shows up before their ad does. I know it's a little bit confusing when you think that they're not even in my industry, but you're fighting for space on the feed, right? So there's very limited space on the feed, so you're competing with not just your main competitors, but everyone that is trying to get their ad in front of other people. And the same thing goes for ads. When you search for something, you're going to see 3 or 4 ads at the top, and then you're going to see everything that comes as a result of good SEO strategies, which is a completely different other topic that I could talk for hours about. But you're only going to get 3 or 4 results, right? So you're competing with those 3 or 4 people to be able to get on the top results. But Greg doesn't do that, right? Greg does no keyword research. He does no competitor research. He has no buyer personas for his marketing campaign. And when you're starting a marketing campaign, I never go in blind. I never say, well, let's see what's going to work. That would be horrible for both my client and for me, right? I always do research to see what else is going on, and then I'm going to have a better idea of how to structure my campaign. So these are Google-specific mistakes that I see often. Once again, no keyword research. You use too many keywords, too little keywords. Your campaign structure is completely misaligned, you use no tracking, and you send all of your audience to your home page instead of a squeeze page or a landing page. So Greg decides on the keyword leather chair for his, obviously he just created this beautiful leather chair, and that's what he's marketing right now. So on Google, he's gonna advertise for leather chair. Now, could you guys say, is this a good keyword term for him or a bad keyword term for him? What do you guys think? I mean, he is selling a good leather chair, or a leather chair, right? We have good, we have bad, we have bad. Thank you, we have bad. Okay, so I would agree with you that it's a bad keyword term. Why? Because he's not using modifiers. And when you do pay-per-click campaigns, you want to use modifiers and not, this is considered what's called a broad match inside of pay-per-click. So I have a tool here that you guys could use. It's a free tool. These keyword research tools are usually expensive, and this is a free one if you sign up for Google. So the way it works is you're either going to enter the domain or a keyword, and then you select the country that you live in. Obviously, we're in the United States. So let's just, as an example, put leather chair here. So this is going to tell us an estimated volume. Now it's going to show me to sign up. I'm not going to sign up, but you're going to see the data come up here. If it doesn't, then I'll click that I want to sign up. All right, that's that. So let me choose one of my million accounts here. All right, and I'll just do what everyone does, just agree to everything, right? All of the terms and conditions, just agree blindly. It's how we do it here. All right, so here, leather chair, it's telling me that the search volume is 27,000 per month. So all of these numbers are per month, and it's within the United States. Now, I'm not sure if this software does it, but the paid softwares allow you to trickle that down by state and possibly by zip code, depending on which one you have. It has a SEO difficulty of 57. All that means is that it's pretty difficult to attract traffic to your website just by having a landing page that is built to attract SEO traffic. Maybe we could have a different discussion on SEO, but that's the best I could do trying to move forward. A paid difficulty is 100%, so you're gonna have a lot of competitors when it comes to that keyword, and the average cost per click is 152. Now that seems low, but the reason that that's probably low is because this is a very broad term, right? The term leather chair is very broad. So only possibly the big players are going to be competing on that, like Wayfair, maybe IKEA, or a big box brand, right? So the name of the tool is Uber Suggest. And it's one of the best free options that is out there. All right, so this is the reason why just the term especially for Greg that owns a small business is bad. It's because the word leather chair without any modifiers is considered a broad match term. So if I search blue leather chair, cheap leather chair, free leather chair, kids leather chair for, or leather for chair, fake leather chair, kitchen leather chair, my ad is gonna show up. And we determined that this is a $10,000 chair. I'm not sure kids leather chair, I want my ad to show up when I'm trying to sell a $10,000 chair to a child, or when the term cheap leather chair shows up, right? That obviously it doesn't match the keyword that someone is actually typing into Google. So here we would add keyword modifiers, they're called, and negative key terms. So for Greg, what I would tell them is that I want anytime and free or cheap come up, I don't want my ad to run at all, because then I'm just wasting my money, because it's a $10,000 chair. So why would I want my ad to show up with this audience that is not going to be my potential buyer for the chair? And what's going to happen is they're going to click on the ad, because most people don't read what you have on your ad. They're going to click on the ad, land on your page, see that it's a $10,000 chair and it's not what they're looking for, and they're going to bounce out of your web page, and that'll give you a lower score when it comes to Google. They rate your campaigns, and they say, well, if you have a 99% bounce rate, then we're not going to show your ad, because you're driving people to your website and they're having a bad experience on your website. That's why they're leaving your website right away. So other key terms that possibly may be better are executive leather chair, and then even more better, executive leather chair store near me. Now, this near me always has a higher intent of buying, right? So if someone's looking for something that's near them, it's because they're possibly really interested in purchasing that item. So you might want to spend $1.52 for this keyword, but you might want to spend $60 on this, well, that's really high actually, well, like $30 on this keyword term, because that buyer intent is really high. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense to everyone. Yes, awesome, Lisa, thank you. All right. All right, when you have too little or too many keywords, what I see wrong here is let's say now Greg is going to say, well, he's going to go the other way. Instead of just doing leather chair, he's going to have 100 keywords that he's going to put into his campaign, but he has a $50 budget per day. You're going to go through your marketing spend within like 2 hours. So you're not going to have enough data to be able to generate enough leads to actually get a return on your investment. And that's usually what I see wrong. And then you have too little, you're not going to get enough traffic to be able to get enough leads. So you have to have a good balance of if you have a low budget, then you want to focus on maybe 10 to 15 keywords. I wouldn't go past that, because then you're going to go through your marketing spend within an hour or two, and you're not going to be able to see the type of traffic that you are able to generate otherwise. All right, so we also have the wrong structure or campaign structure. So Facebook's and / Instagram, because they run ads on the same platform for them. They switched to a structure that looks very much like this. So within your Google Ads account, you're able to create different campaigns. And within those campaigns, you're going to create different ad groups. And within those ad groups is where your keywords are and where your ads belong. So something for Greg, that he's a leather designer, and he might be created an ad for this leather chair, but he also has leather handbags. Then I would create a campaign for the leather chair, and I would create a separate campaign for the handbags, and then I would have different ad groups based on the things that based on the type of keywords that I'm targeting for both, and then that would determine my keywords, and then that would determine my ads as well. But what I usually see is that the Gregs of the world have one campaign where they have all of their products, and one ad group where they have all of their keywords in them, and then just a bunch of ads. And that really, once you start scaling your campaign, is gonna be super hard to try to distinguish what's working and what's not, and turn things off and move things around. So the reason why I love digital marketing is we're able to track everything, right? Versus normally, sorry, I see, if I look down, it's my puppy is right here. We're able to track everything, and versus the old way of doing things is, you know, it's going to be extremely hard to know even how many people pass by these different ads, let alone how many people actually looked at it. How long were they looking at it? Were they interested, and just weren't able to gather enough information to be able to, you know, proceed with the next step? And that's all of an ad is. The ad is for them to get to the next step. And that next step is to be able to get to the next step. A lot of people want the ad to be the sales pitch, right? They want everything to happen at the ad level. And really all your ad is doing is getting them to the next section. So if you're on Facebook, your ad is to get them to click to the landing page, and your landing page info is to get them to click to actually submit their information. And then the email campaign that you're sending out is going to be enough to actually get them a call or schedule or whatever your sales funnel looks like. But this is why I love digital marketing, is because you're able to track everything. And hopefully, has anyone heard of Google Tag Manager or has Google Tag Manager installed on their websites? No, I have no. Okay, so Google Tag Manager is a fairly new product from Google, where you're able to create tags, and you're able, within that tag, you're able to create events. And then the event is triggered by whatever you tell it that it wants to be, you want it to be triggered by. So let's say I have a website and I want to know how many people scroll 3/4 of the way down. I can now do that with Google Tag Manager. I could tell Google, hey, tell me, trigger this event every time someone goes past this or 3/4 down the page, because that means that they're possibly more interested than someone that just lands and doesn't scroll, right? So then I'm able to now retarget those people that looked at my website, looked all the way down, but for some reason didn't submit their information, which you can't do ads when you're looking at a magazine or you have a bench or you have a billboard like that, right? And you're able to convert now, like these, you're able to create a retargeting pool of people that have interacted with your brand that you otherwise would never be able to interact with by doing any marketing on a magazine or a bench like this. UTM parameters, I could tell if someone's an amateur. Amateur sounds bad, but you know, they're not used to marketing when their URL for their wherever they're sending people to is just a URL. Usually you have UTM parameters that are going to tell me what campaign that person clicked on or seen, what term they clicked on or searched for, what source, so it was on Facebook, on Google, on Instagram, and all of that data is in the URL. So if someone sends me a URL for their ad and it's extremely long and it has a bunch of UTM parameters, I could probably think that they're ooh, I have no idea. Sorry. Ellen just asked, what does UTM mean? I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. But usually the way the structure is, and I'll type it out for everyone, is UTM underscore source, and then equals question mark, and then let's say Google. That's what normally you'll see in a URL. And there's UTM term, UTM campaign, and other parameters that I'm able to now track where my traffic's coming from. Because if I'm running ads on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I want to know what people are clicking on and what's actually working. Right?
So, Louis, I guess the URL is basically telling us where it's the address for where the computer is logged in from, and I guess that's what tracking is, or
no, because usually it comes by your IP address, like where the computer is from. It's giving you data on what ad they clicked on and where they're coming from, essentially. Okay. So you're able to now, say, okay, well, I got 100 leads. This % of them came from Google, so I'm just going to turn off Facebook and Instagram because they're not generating. Versus if you don't have that in your URL or tracking that, then you just assume that all of your campaigns are doing well when really it's just one. All right. And I'm going to move a lot faster because I just realized how late it was. So I do apologize for that. but I want to make sure that you guys get as much information out of me as humanly possible. So once again, people are sending their traffic to their homepage, and usually in your homepage, you have a bunch of different options. You have your services, you have a bunch of different things. As this here says that you have 28 different links, which are your leaks. You're sending your audience to all of these different things, but you really want them to just either submit their information. So they have one option here. All right. So for Facebook and Instagram, usually the mistakes that I see is that business owners are not creating their buyer persona. They're not doing competitor research, not actually creating a marketing campaign, aka just boosting a post. They have bad ad copy. They have buy now tactics. They don't test very much of anything, and they're not using tracking, and they're not creating retargeting campaigns. So I'm not sure why, or Greg in this case, is not sure who his ideal customer is. And you should be creating a customer persona that looks very much like this. Not only your demographics, but also their income. It depends on if you have a service that, you know, you need a wealthier clientele. You should also know what your audience likes or dislikes when it comes to books, music, and that's going to help you in your marketing campaigns when it comes to Facebook. And then also know what's their pain point, like why are they coming to you, and what does their heaven look like? Because that's going to help you with when it comes to your ad copy, is to figure out what pain your customer is going through right now, and where after your service they're going to go. So here's another tool that I want to present to you guys. Has anyone heard of Facebook Audience Insights before? I have one yes. Jackie, good. All right, we have a no, yes. All right, so Audience Insights is where you're able to do research on everyone that is on Facebook, right? So here, let's say, I'm just gonna do it really quick. Here we have our audience all in the United States. And let's say, I'm gonna say for Greg, if Greg was doing this, a $10,000 chair, I'm gonna go 35 and up, and try to get some more information on my audience. I'm gonna leave it open to gender all. And then the interest, I'm gonna put in Herman Miller. Herman Miller is a high-end furniture place or designer. And here, what I found interesting when I first did this was I really thought that the demographic was gonna be very skewed to male. But it actually isn't. So the Facebook is telling me that 41% of the audience is women and 59% are men. And 0% of the audience are between 18 and 24, 25 and 34. So if I was Greg and I left my, my demographics on my ad as 18 and up, then I'm wasting money putting my ad in front of 18 to 34-year-olds because they're just not in my target market. These individuals are. And most of them, 76% are married, and 61% are college grad, and 7% are grad school. And this gives you insights on what other pages they like, and you could do the same thing with those pages as I'm doing here, the location, and their activity on the platform. So I wish I had more time to go through all this, but I'm trying to I'm trying to go through all of these slides here. All right, so that tool is called the Audience Insight tool. A lot of business owners don't have a Facebook Business Manager account. If you type in Facebook Business Manager, you want to create an account if you're going to be creating actual campaigns inside of the platform. Once again, just boosting a post is not considered, in my eyes, actual marketing efforts. You want to create a campaign with actual structure and ad groups and AdSense and different audiences inside of the Facebook Manager, Business Manager accounts. a lot of the ad copy I see is based on the feature and not the benefit. So here's an example of storage for 1 gigabyte of MP3s is the feature versus the benefit, which is what you want to use in your ad copy, is that means that you're able to get 1,000 songs in your pocket. And this is the actual ad that they ran with. Here's another example of headphones. The feature is noise canceling. And the benefit is that you're able to listen to music with no interference from outside sound. And the sales message, or what your ad could possibly look like, is listen to your music, not the guy snoring in the seat next to you. And that's a better message than noise canceling functionality, right? So we want to focus our ad copy to the benefit and not the feature. Buy now tactics. I see this a lot on social media, and you have to remember that people are not on Facebook and Instagram to buy things, right? They're not searching for things. They're interacting with the platform. So when every post that you put up is buy now, coupon, 20% off, 30% off, and I see the small businesses are notorious for this. Instead of educating your potential audience and giving them information that they actually would want, we're going out there and saying buy now, and they really don't know anything from us or have interacted with our brand. So that's the equivalent of asking for the hand in marriage on the first date, which usually we don't want to do, right? We want to be able to interact with our audience, give them information, and build our brand versus just say buy now, buy now, buy now, which is literally 95% of what I see small businesses do. Test. A lot of small businesses are not testing their ad copy, their image, or anything really. I know there was a lot of real estate individuals in the webinar here. So yesterday I just pulled this up and I came across this company called Hanover Real Estate. And here you'll notice that these are 2 active, and I'll show you where to get this information. There's 2 active ads that they're running, and the only thing that they're testing is the video. Everything else is the same. All of the ad copy here, the headline, the call to action, everything's the same except for the video. So then what I would do if I was marketing or testing this, then I'm going to run these ads for about a week and then see which one performs better. And then I'll keep that one. And then I'll do the same thing with a different ad and see which one performs better until I have an optimized marketing campaign. All right, so who has heard of the Facebook Pixel before, or Pixels, on Google, Instagram, or Snapchat? Who has heard of that term? No. All right, so a bunch of no's. So have you guys ever gone on a site and you've seen an ad for that site or that product or whatever you left in your cart on Facebook or Instagram? And then you wondered, how are they doing all of this? So they're doing that because they included this piece of, if the Facebook Pixel is a piece of code that you install, hopefully using Google Tag Manager on your site. And now you're able to retarget people that had viewed certain products on your website or added to cart and they didn't complete the cart. And now you're able to track them not only on Facebook and Instagram, but their entire network, and also Google, because you should have Google Analytics, and Google Analytics includes a pixel. And it's just a piece of code. Everyone that registered for this event and had their email address as their actual URL for their business, I went into your website and I did analytics on your website, and only Movement Mortgage, obviously Allstate, and obviously Wintrust had a Google Pixel installed. Every other business that registered and you had your URL or your email with your URL or domain name, no one had this. And only like 2 people had Google Analytics installed. And really there's no point of having a website if you're not tracking what's happening with your website. You should call your webmaster or do it yourself, but you should be installed. Even if you're not going to actively run ads right now, you're going to be able to gather data. So in the future, let's say 30 days, 60 days from now, you're able to tell Facebook, all right, everyone that visited my site within 60 days, run this ad to that specific audience, which is super powerful, right? Because they already interacted with your brand. All right, so this is kind of how it works. Is you have a prospect, they visit your site, and then now, because they landed on your site, the pixel is now tracking them wherever they go, and they're going to see your ad later on Facebook. Now they're going to go on Facebook and they're going to see your ad if you're running a retargeting campaign.
Can I ask a quick question? Would you say that that would apply your last statement even to a not-for-profit? Like about the Google? Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, sorry.
I just wanted to ask you if you thought that that would apply to not-for-profits as well as far as the tracking. Like you said that it would be a waste to have a website and so I'm asking, obviously I'm not technically selling, but I am obviously at the same time. So would you say that applies to not-for-profits, that statement as well?
Absolutely. If you're have any sort of company or anything like that where you're asking someone to come back to your site, imagine so if you have a physical store or you're outside selling something and you're able to just follow that person around that seem interested, how powerful is that? And now we could all do that by simply installing this piece of code on our websites. So yes, absolutely. All right, so knowing what you know now, would you say Greg, Anna, Joe, or Jess, who has the best option, or who do you think is gonna come out a winner when it comes to marketing? Who would you guys guess? I have Anna, and I would agree with you, right? Because there's so much information, even myself, that I spend my days doing research and campaigns. I don't know it all. So for someone that is just going to take over and wants to be able to become profitable, then you're probably going to have some assistance. Or if you don't have the ability to do so, then you're going to have to be like Joe and spend the time to actually learn these things because of how crucial these things are to your business. All right, so I promised a little bit of branding in here as well. So I'm gonna throw it in there. And I just wanna get a few points across when it comes to branding. So what is branding? Because we use that term a lot, and really all branding is the sum of the perception that people attach to you, your product, your service, or your company. That is all. So when someone thinks about your business or your product, what do they think? What are they saying when you're not in the room? That is what branding is, right? So your logo is not your brand. Your logo, all it is there for and its use is to identify your brand. So when you see the Nike sign, you know that's Nike. When you see the Apple logo, you know it's Apple. But the logo itself is not the brand. It's all of the marketing dollars that they've spent in convincing you that Volvo is the safest car when everyone has to pass the same test, right? So that is what branding is. It's just a perception of what people think of when they think about your brand. And if you're not actively exercising those muscles of you actively saying different things about your company or your product or your brand, then you're letting your customer decide that for you. Your customer is now in the hands of your brand because you're not doing anything to kind of let them know what your brand stands for. It's so important for us to be able to do that, because when we don't establish a brand, then we are fighting with the masses and we become a commodity. And when we are a commodity, then that's the worst place to compete, because when you're a commodity, what are you competing on? Does anyone know or could guess? If I have two different commodities, what am I competing on? What could be my price? Yes. So, and it's usually going to be a race to the bottom, right? When you're a commodity, it's not like you're racing to see who could charge the most. You're racing to see who could charge the least. So when you're not focusing on creating a brand, you're creating a environment for yourself where you're just fighting on price. And I don't think anyone that's on this conference wants to just fight to the who has the lowest price. All right, so I'm gonna go through a few question and answers really fast. Some people had submitted their questions when they signed up, so I wanted to address them really quickly. We had a question: we are limited on time. Where should you put your limited time and energy? Facebook, Instagram, constant contact mailings. How often should you do these to be the most effective? What are some time-saving tips? So I would need to know a little bit more about the business to be able to give you more information, but it's going to depend on your audience, your budget, how much time and energy you actually have and are committed to do so to be able to do that. Constant contact should be used to mail out to all of your potential leads and your already existing customers, so they could become recurring customers. How often should you do these to be most effective? You should be running marketing 24/7 all year long. Marketing should never stop. What are some time-saving tips? Automation is going to be probably the biggest time-saving tip. Branding for new product launches, branding the product versus company, pros and cons. I would say you definitely would need to brand your company and then figure out where your product stands versus your competitors and see what branding message you want to have. But sometimes they're the same and sometimes they might be slightly different. Calculating price structure, I think this was submitted by a consultant, and usually consulting firms either charge by hour, which I really don't like, or by project, which I would recommend. How to grow your business during the restrictions due to the pandemic. It's really going to be online. If you had a strong online presence and you're able to switch everything online. And also I heard, and a lot of different businesses pivoting their product or service and actually doing better than they were before because they changed their product or service slightly because of all of this, and they actually did better than they did before. What CRMs are best for small non-profits? I've been through about 5 CRM implementations, and I hate to break it to everyone, but there's no one perfect CRM. What I would do is list all of the things that you would want your CRM to do for you, and then list them by the most important to least important, and then choose a CRM that hits the most important things that you have there. All right, so you're probably, if your face looks like this guy here, where it was just a lot of information, I don't blame you, it is. But I wanted to share as much information because now you at least know that these things exist and you're able to take the time and actually go and find out more versus not knowing that these things exist and then trying to do marketing on your own, and then not doing as well as you could possibly do because you didn't know about these things. So I'm giving you the option to schedule a 30-minute strategy call. If you go to mihente.com/schedule, you have my calendar up there, and you're able to schedule a 30-minute strategy call, which is if you're looking into get into or running your marketing campaign. If you have questions that I didn't address today, please schedule that and we can talk about it. All right, and then I have a special offer for everyone that is on this, and it's only for this week. So I have upfront pricing on my website, and a campaign setup is $3.99, and typically the monthly management fee is $2.99. So I'm gonna reduce the $3.99 and I'm gonna take the monthly fee for the first month out, which would have been an investment of $6.98, and it's gonna be $2.99. So that's a savings of $3.99. And once again, it's for only the people that are on this webinar today. It's not gonna be available to anywhere else as well. Now, if you're saying this still sounds expensive, let me show you one of my competitors. And they have upright pricing as well. So their Google Ad landing page setup is $14.97, just FYI. All right, and then one more offer here. If you are currently, a lot of people did not have websites, so that's why I created this package, is you're gonna get everything for the marketing offer plus a 4-page website with the platinum package and a 4-page website, which would come up to an investment of $21.43, and it's gonna be $8.99. So a savings of $12.44.
Lou, can you look at the chat real quick? Folks are sending you a few questions. For example, any differentiation between business to consumer and business to business?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to look at and by industry. So it's going to be, you're going to approach things differently when it comes to B2C and B2B, and then what industry you're in. So I would have to know a little bit more to be able to answer that question. But if you want to schedule that 30-minute strategy call, that's something that we could talk about during that call for sure. Yep, 100% free for the strategy call. If you just want to chat about marketing, or you didn't learn like I promised that you would, please send me schedule a call, and I will make sure that you get the most out of me as possible. Sharing slides, posting. Yep, I think we're going to be sharing all that. Any more questions that I'm missing?
Does anyone have suggestions for our next best session? We'd love to hear them. We run them quarterly, always the second Tuesday of the month before our Economic Development Committee meeting. And we are getting close on time. If anyone's got any questions for Lou and you want to type them in right now, we can run through them.
The village will be sending you all a survey at the end just to collect more information, or shortly just to collect any feedback you all have as well. And you're more than welcome to share any thoughts or suggestions you have for us as well. We want to help our businesses as best as we possibly can, particularly now given the difficulty of the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay. You want to wrap up, Shubhra? You're on mute if you do.
Thank you, first of all, to all of our businesses who attended. I know you were able to take some time and hopefully found this information session helpful. Lou, I certainly found it very helpful, learned about a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't think about. Like you mentioned, businesses end up doing that buy now strategy sometimes. Fantastic interaction from all of our participants as well. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors and partners. And yes, please send us some suggestions for what the next topic should be. What do you find helpful? And like Ellen said, we do these regularly. And if there is an overwhelming need to schedule something earlier or sooner than the next 3 months, so we'll look into that as well. The village is here to help. Please call us if your business needs any kind of assistance. We've also, working with our partners, help businesses connect with the right resources. If you don't know this already, please do visit our resources for business page on our village page. There is a special page that has been set up, and it's divided by what kind of information you are looking for. If you needed financial info, if you needed resources to help get to a certain service, please do visit that, and we'll share that. And Alex, thank you for keeping that page up to date. Anytime we know about a helpful seminar or webinar coming up, and these days they're all free mostly, we post that as well. So subscribe to that, and you can keep yourself well informed. With that, I thank you all for joining. Ellen, any last words, or Louis?
I just want to say thank you to everyone. Hopefully this time was well spent. And this presentation wasn't to deter everyone from doing it on their own. I just hate when I see small businesses that really have a small budget and they're doing things that are not going to be the best for them. So this was putting all of the things that small businesses are doing wrong. So hopefully you could change that and make your marketing dollar be worth it to you. So that's why I structured the campaign with everything that's going wrong so we could learn about them and then fix it.
I hope
I have
everyone will
one
say.
last note. We also send out a newsletter to all of our businesses, and that's typically done every couple months. But these days, we've been putting those out as frequently as every 2 weeks, sometimes every week. The business newsletter is called Business Matters, and you do need to subscribe to that if you would like to receive it. It's chock full of information. We have all of our past issues on the website as well. So I really encourage you to go to the Village website, hpil.org, and go to the business section to get all of this info.
You'll also find a specific section on COVID resources right now, where we're trying to post other webinars of interest and resources and links to the funding sources. And we're not just focusing on the 2 federal programs, there's also some state and county programs coming online right now. So we hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.